Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Miller Time segment tonight. As we told you earlier this week, the fact that Al Gore showed up at a hate convention last weekend, sponsored by a website that displayed brutal attacks on Tony Snow soon after he died, brought disgrace to the former vice president. Dennis Miller has been watching Mr. Gore for years and joins us now from Los Angeles. I will say the Gore people called us today, said the former vice president was very concerned, didn't know about the attacks, and we take him at his word. We've asked him to finally come on program. We want to talk about a lot of things. We don't expect that to happen. But for a long time, you've had, you haven't had a good feeling about Al Gore.
He seems like a genial guy. He seems like a great husband, father, all the things that really matter. He just seems politically insipid. And I'm always amazed at his ability to adjust the size of his pond. You know, given his chance when he ran for the presidency in a time of peace and prosperity, and I think I screwed up all the R's there, America looked at him and found him wanting. So he just adjusted the size of the pond that he speaks to and the caliber of the plankton, and now all of a sudden he's an oracle. He's like the guy in the Tarzan movies or Mutiny on the Bounty who would, amaze the locals with shiny objects or something. But I just find it a little irresponsible what he does. When he said the debate was over as far as global warming, I stopped listening to him. Seems like a nice guy. I have no doubt he feels bad about the Tony Snow Daily Kos thing, but I just find him to be a bit fatuous politically.
Okay. Now, do you have any problems with his lifestyle vis-a-vis the global warming crusade? We got a ton of mail from people who live near him in Tennessee and say, hey, look, guy drives around in SUVs, gas guzzling. He does a private jet thing. He's got a big boat that he whips around on a Tennessee lake in. His house, as we all know, is a humongous house that uses a tremendous amount of energy. Do you have a problem with him in that regard?
You know what? I don't think Al Gore believes in global warming to the extent that people think he does, or even he might think he does. If he believed in it to the extent that he advocates, and he flew, listen, I fly in a private jet whenever I can. You know, if somebody offers, I'm there. But I don't believe in global warming, or I don't believe man's culpable in it. So if Gore really believes that, and he's still leading this lifestyle, and this is why I don't think he believes in it to the degree that people think, he would be a monster. And I don't think he's a monster.
But if he doesn't believe in it, that makes him even worse, because then he's profiting by one account. I don't know if this is true. I can't possibly know this. He's made $100 million himself by the books and the movies and the lectures and all of these things off global warming. And if you're telling me that you believe that he doesn't even, he's hyping it and is not as emotionally engaged as he appears to be, that would be even worse, would it not?
No, not to me. It would be worse if he really believed he was doing the planet in, living the lifestyle that he's living, and he still went ahead and did it. That's monstrous. This is just shallow. He's a bit of a shallow guy. Maybe the ocean should rise a little, because he's a little shallow, Al.
All right. Now, you just got back from Europe where you were accompanying Barack Obama, right? Weren't you one of his advanced team?
I carried the nuclear football for him, my friend. He's being treated like a president, but I'll tell you this, he best not get that crowd too riled up in Germany, because I don't need to see a Teutonic mosh pit going crazy for this guy. That would scare me. I think America, by and large, does not want to see a German rave happening there. I think that would work against him in this next election.
But he's doing the JFK thing. He's giving the speech, exactly what, it was a great cartoon that said, Ich ein Berliner, that's what Kennedy said, but Obama says, Ich ein Beginner. And somebody said, Psst, no, it's Berliner.
That's great. And that is great.
That was from my friend Ramirez, who's one of the best and funniest cartoonists in the country.
That's brilliant.
Now, do you think that Obama's tour, I call it the Magical Mystery Tour, because he's still a mystery to me, has worked for him or against him?
Listen, I think the tour, he's like the Beatles on the Sullivan Show. That's all fine, but the key thing for John McCain is what was evoked on this tour, where he said he wouldn't do the surge even though it's succeeding. I'm telling you there's an underlay here where Americans are not going to say anything out loud, but I think they'll speak loudly on November 5th, where they'll go, wait a second, if you've gotten to the point where you're sheepish about us doing well, I can't vote for you. And I think that was the key thing that came out of this. He's going to look more presidential. You know, he looks cool getting off the plane. I love the way it looks when he jumps off and he's got the shirt sleeves and he's carrying his own bag and he's got the shades.
Jimmy Carter did
It's all
that.
very cool.
Yeah, Jimmy Carter was the first one to carry his own bag and this and that. Okay, now, earlier this week...
But listen, for him to say that he's not sure about the surge hurt him dearly, I think.
Okay. And you know who grilled him on that really well? Katie Couric, interestingly enough.
Katie Couric, good
really
for her.
grilled him.
Yep,
Good
she
for
did
her.
do a good job there.
Now, you're a friend of Jay Leno. Earlier this week, I said that Jay Leno was hosed by the NBC Barbarians, and he'd be better off anywhere else. You talked to him recently. You concur?
Listen, you know, Jay and I are dear friends. I would never reveal anything he says, but I do know this. I've gone against Jay, and I'm one of his friends. And when Jay wants to win, I can tell he's PO'd now. And he's going to, I bet you he jumps to ABC. I bet you they have him and Kimmel doing that whole proletariat thing where Jay's doing the, yeah, Jimmy, we're just two regular guys. We show up at 11:30. We tell the jokes. Don't the pretty boys do all that? I can see it coming.
Yeah, I can see
and
it
guess
coming,
what?
too.
Jay's going to win. He's a grinder, man. He will not let up.
Listen, I'm telling you, even if he doesn't win, he's better off. But I think Fox may get in the mix, too, here. But I think ABC's got a good chance of landing him. Although Nightline's a fine program.
I think he likes the support system. I think he likes the support system.
Yeah, I'd hate to see Nightline go, though. Nightline's a fine program. I'll give you the last word on it.
Well, okay, my last word will be I'll try to soldier on without Martin Brashear.
Come on, Martin's a good guy. Dennis Miller, everybody. I'm glad you're back, Dennis.